Yes, what's good? Another round of the Decoding with Dregz. Getting things rolling. It's been an interesting week so far. Been digging it.
Everyone go pull up your he's dual streaming on Twitter. If you can, pull up the stream on Twitter as well. Give him another viewer as well.
Hell yeah.
It's just on Dregz Twitter. It's Dregz the Mentor with a Z on Twitter. And if you're not following, then fucking follow him. What are you doing? And get your sunscreen.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, always good to push that. We're trying to kind of increase the scope, the range of these videos outside our little echo chamber of Discord. So hopefully more people can witness the amazing power of Thor through X or Twitter. X is always interesting to say now anyways. And yeah, get back to it, decoding some of these store calls, especially at this time. It's kind of like a emotional week for some. I don't know, for me, it could be another week in crypto. More of the fun times, actually. I appreciate it when we're in volatile times, because that's honestly the greatest part of it is that one week could be up hella, and then the other week we could be down immensely. But and still, we don't know whether it's a bear market or a bull market. Everyone's in between what they want to call it. But that's, I think, when most of the money could be made too, is when times of uncertainty. And yeah, for me, it was just really important to keep the emotions out of it, kind of staying away, making sure my plans were right. Sometimes plans fall through, so being able to be quick on my feet to see maybe a new insight of where we're going, or how deep we'll go. So Thor was really great in that, and everyone says, isn't it great to have Thor, to see what's going to happen next? And yes, it is. But I think if your stuff happens, like something this week where we started going down a little bit, and you hadn't looked at Thor already, I think you're kind of behind. The big part for me was I was able to see that, Sol was being called for. We'll just pull this up in the window. Thor had a 1-day call that was looming at $68, and another one of previous weeks ago were around 80. So you could tell there was a significant sign that we could be seeing those levels. It's not to say sell everything and run away, but that to me is a big indicator that I shouldn't be overextended, over leveraged. I just need to really get my capital in check and make sure we're not doing anything that's could significantly put me at a loss if we were to hit that zone. So I like to start with the Sol BTC. Sometimes it really kind of doesn't matter altogether, but I already have it pulled up. It's kind of the idea of where we could see Bitcoin and Sol and how they step up to each other, which one we might see pulling through as the dominant ticker of the week, and always trading off between the two. Right now we got like a little 1 hour at 23, kind of where we're at right now. It's kind of saying, hey, there's a short call going on. And I just like to take a second to throw up some of the Thor calls that are coming up right now. Just kind of painting, just doing a little Bob Ross and, painting our pretty little scene here. We got another long there at the bottom. So these 15s, especially on something like the Sol BTC pair, I'm not too interested. If I'm not like actively day trading it. This is, for me, my trades are really long. So most of the time weeks of in between buys and sells for me. So generally with Sol BTC, my big favorite one is going to be the 4 hour in 1 day, and that generally goes through a lot. Yeah, it looks like that lower time frame is also a similar short right now. So it could be hitting a SOL dominant little short there. It looks like for this, it's a really small range. It literally wants to take us back to one of the lower time frame longs. But a more significant one would be that 19. It looks pretty solid down there, and I'll just jump there to get the longs while we're doing it. And generally when I go through these, I kind of go back and forth and see how many are duplicating themselves along the chart. So we got the 23, a 28, and a 31. We don't have that lower one, and that's why I think that lower one isn't really a big play for me on the shorts. Yeah, short time frame. Yeah, like this short right now, I'm not sure I'm going to be shorting that or switching back and forth between this zone personally. So I'm just going to ignore that anyways. But it's good to paint it on your chart just to see what's going on. It currently has us at like 28.6. I don't really, for these charts, I don't really care about getting them too exact until I start typing them into the trading software. 31, yeah, 31.9. Let's do the 31.3. Get the lower one. Well, it wants to push us up a little bit. All right. And I'd be down for all of those. I know personally for me, I had bought I switched back into the I switched back into SOL at 25, I think around 25 and 22. So this would really like this to be a resistance. This little green line at the 22 would be beneficial for me. But that's kind of where I am. I think I did a little more buying when we were down here in the 20s. But now I'm kind of all out of the capital that I would be trading with. So now I'm just going to have to let her rip. That's my perspective on the situation. So for me, I'm really stoked to see that 28 and 31. Hopefully that SOL will have a bit of dominance over BTC. Maybe BTC goes sideways for a little bit and we see some recovery on SOL. That would be great and would explain some of these higher zones. And if it goes down to 20, I would definitely buy that. That's like really nice. And as you can see through the chart in the weeks, all the way from March, we hit that zone and it dipped a little further to 18, but generally this was a good resistance all the way up to January. And yeah, before that we had made that recovery in the beginning of the year. So it definitely looks like a solid line. And in between this zone, I would say that whole area, if you happen to come by it and it's at upper 20s, it's still for me a good zone to switch into some BTC or switch into SOL. Yeah, and of course we hit that. There's a lot of repeating calls for the 30s, so that's ultimately my goal. I might shave off like 25% at the 28. We'll check health, but I'm really going to save it for that 30, 31, because it just capital that it's meant for this trade and just stacking it up. So I'm just going to try and hit those higher ranges when possible. But that's why these trades take weeks for me in the SOL BTC range. Let's see. We'll jump back to good old Solana. And a bunch of lines from last week. It's always fun when we see those too, to kind of see how they worked out. So what was that? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, last week we saw it just touch that invalidation zone for some of these longs down here. That 160 invalidates that, what was that, 60? Yeah, I just put 67. But this low call we're seeing here, that 160 invalidates it, so we're hoping it goes past that. It's interesting again to see what's that. There was a long there that has become a resistance. It's actually this long that was a long last week is now a short point this time, and we got 45, 46. Not really that one, but I'll lower it to 46 and turn it red, and then we could also turn this guy red too, because that's where we're at. So it has a couple shorts on a lower time frame there, and then the higher, yeah, you get that 46, 171 would be nice too. Yeah, 202 and 270, that's a bit out there, but we got a new one. Just lower this back to 202. This one wants to go 270, so I'll just toss that up, whatever. That'd be wonderful to see, but this is probably a bit ways out too. But a kind of important note, and that's why I like doing that Sol BTC first sometimes, is you'll see that there is that short up here and even higher. That is leading me to believe that's kind of why Thor's calling for the 0.3, the 0.28, because it seems like Sol is showing some signs that it could be going up or hitting those points, having some probability of it, not knowing everything that's under the hood of Thor to explain it, but just kind of insights as to why it might be doing those kind of things. You can see clearly too why 171 would be a resistance point, and this is just a lot of noise down here. I think, you know, we could see some really good stuff if we break through these, but even if we break through these shorts, I'm not convinced of negating these lower calls, these lower longs, until we beat that 160 invalidation line. So I think 160, getting past that, is seemingly the zone we need to go to delete some of these. We see that here too. This was done, that was last week call, 160 as well for the 108. And then we have a 117 that's invalidated at 144. So this line, this upper short here, once that gets passed, you won't see that 117 we got. And as for picking up stuff, I probably would hit up if I was longing, I'd try to be a little heady around that 117 zone too. It looks solid. If we go dip below that, you know, I want to go all in there, but I definitely would think that between the 117 and 18 is definitely a good buy zone. So you kind of taking two calls and making a nice buy range within itself is really nice too. So it's like, yeah, you have exact modes, but maybe I don't set a limit there. Maybe I set a limit lower, but just know if I go check the computer or, you know, around it and see that we are in like 115, that's also a viable place to maybe start picking up some more Sol for that upward movement. When we hit them, it's supposed to hit the zone we're at right now. So hitting that just says that we predict a recovery bounce into where we currently are at.
Yo, Dregz, the Discord one is not coming through, but I can see it on Twitter. I'm not sure exactly what's...
Oh, thanks. Let's see.
Okay, there we go. Now it's on.
Now it's on? Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice. Wonder. Yeah, it
Let's go.
Yeah, it sounded like some things were twisted up there. Anyways, thank you.
Yeah. You were on fire, dude. I didn't want to step on.
No, I gotta see if it's black. Yeah, no one can even see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but we could see it on Twitter at least.
Nice. That's good. Yeah. See what's going on there. Cool. Not much going on there. Yeah, I think that's a nice little oversight. I mean, we do have the 146, 220. We could talk about those 220s when we beat the 160. So I like to kind of just, without using much TA, sure, I do have a little bit of ideas of what's going on, but honestly, I like to see the volume's nice. The MACD is a good indicator. The RSI is a good one too to have. But it kind of just, it's just nice to see where we're at, and it kind of confirms what I'm seeing Thor call, because it kind of just develops this kind of playing field that we currently are hanging out in, which makes good, because if you could see the battlefield, you're not caught in some fog of war, so you could strategize and make moves under two different conditions. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned as a trader, is being able to have a strategy if it goes up or down. Like, you know, there's ways to make the most out of it. But currently, we're just rocking that right now. Yeah, I think that kind of covers the soul. Let's see what else has been fun. Oh yeah, how could we not? If we're gonna talk about soul BTC, let's look at the BTC chart. And I think from when I last looked, it was pretty simple reading there. Oh, some good old. Oh, those are some old lines. Let's just get rid of that. And yeah, let's see that we were seeing, okay, the long, okay, there it is. So it went away for the 1 day, but it's still hanging out. I'm glad too, because sometimes it stops out a little too soon for these, for my liking. But it's good to see that call still floating. It looks pretty valid. Hopefully it doesn't become a resistance point, but seeing not many more long calls besides that one. I'm seeing a lot of short calls. Oh, looks like one just above where we're at right now, probably around that green line. Be short term, but not really concerned with these at that level. That one could be a little decent too, this 260 or 61k. Should make more sense right through there. Yeah. Let's see. No shorts there in the 1 day. See, the 1 day gets me hype, because we're looking at that 170 again. 174, which would probably just touch that. Again, like I like to adjust those to match it. Sometimes I 7385, 7. Yeah, you know, we'll just 7385. We'll just kind of intersect with it sometimes, and this goes with, again, drift. What I use typically, if you do your wicks and you kind of try to beat the wick with that little bit of spacing, not to say it copies the exact movement of it, but unless, in my experience, I always like to bring it so it intersects with it a little bit, because if it retraces, it has more time to retrace, and because sometimes there's a variance in price. Even if it does go higher up here, the going price for what I can get on my limit order might be like 1% off, perhaps, when it rushes up. So I'm not going to get too greedy. I always like to put the intersecting lines there too sometimes, and then of course you have your ones higher up. But if they're close enough to be like within those wicks, I'm going to push them in to the wick. Maybe it's just my mind saying it's more likely to hit again, but I just try to cut it off from going too hard sometimes. Even, you know, that'd be nice if we hit 73 again, which I'm sure we will, but nothing really stopping it besides the 61. So I don't have enough information here, but I do like to see when we're gonna lose the really high calls, like 70, 74. So I don't have too many longs to tell me otherwise, so then the invalidation line gets to get thrown up again, because then that invalidates the shorts, which is what it's predicting we should sell at, as it's a top pressure. So I kind of view that as, hey, if we're losing our signals for our top shorts, it kind of really doesn't know where the top is at the moment. So finding that out, 565. Just knock it up there real quick, 565, which puts it, what do you know, like right on that last little wick that we hit just a couple days ago, or yesterday. So if we go below that, I think the story changes a bit. Let's see what it does there. And similar, yeah, even on the lower time frame, for that 60 short. If we go below 56, then that invalidates that short. So that kind of says if we break that, we may probably go lower to where we don't really have readings. So that's kind of again, the canary in the coal mine. If I see that go past that threshold for the invalidation line, then that's a big cue that I need to look at. If I was longing something, I really need to reevaluate. Like for me, I don't use stops too much, but I should reevaluate like where I can get maybe a recovery bounce to get less loss, so I can get ready for it to do another dip, or maybe catch another long call that may come up in Thor on a shorter time frame. And then I sometimes like these shorter time frames when I'm trying to catch like a quick wick up, or even a couple percent, bounce to negate some losses is good. So you don't have to just call it quits then. You might get that little bounce between the two zones, which helps me not lose as much. I could take a 5% loss into a 2% loss, and then flip that back when it goes down more, and you're just positioned to not miss out on an opportunity for a better range. I've done it too many times where I'm like, oh, if I wait, it'll get back, and it gets back, but if my inaction missed out on some greater gains. So that's why I love these invalidation lines. It's definitely some of the little more secret sauce, if you will. But yeah, that's the thesis. Let's hold above 56. If we hold above 56, then hopefully in the near time frame we might see that 70 back in our future, and of course break through those. But that's just kind of signaling a range bounding action. Just hitting up that short on the lower time frame just kind of puts us to where we are now, or that other long that was there before. Now, speaking of failing,
what's your gut tell you, Dregz? What do you think for Bitcoin, or actually Bitcoin? What about just Sol? Be more interested in what you think of Sol.
It looks like Bitcoin could probably maybe go down to that 56, tease us down there, maybe like go a little sideways for a bit. Sol, I don't know. I just remember us talking and so many things about how Sol's being kept down by over-the-counter trades with FTX and all this other kind of stuff. People, everyone has some kind of theory behind the price being held down, but from everything I've seen, it seems like Solana is undervalued still. So that's some of my more bullish pressure, is that I still feel like that we're pretty undervalued. I'm not leveraging crazy right now with Sol. So I think that we might hit that 108 zone, or we might not. But I think I think Solana will probably bounce before Bitcoin, is maybe the best thoughts I have on it. I wish I can be right on the money, but I feel like Sol's gonna, what is it? What are we doing, Sol? Use this wonderful tool. We go there, we go tease back at 25 or 27, or we just invalidate that. Now, that's more reasonable. I think we could invalidate this short, hit this short up here, kind of go back to that 136. Pretty much, hit this, stay where we're at for right now. Hopefully go higher, but I do also see us kind of hitting that zone too. Maybe hitting that short, maybe we go back down to 117 or that 18, but I don't think we hit 60 or 70. I think my lows, I'm thinking we're gonna recover if we do the 108 or 105 zone. I said if I were to make a best guess with this huge spread we got, it's good to see it too. Yeah, no. I could see that touching that point there. That 45 could be coming back down here for a higher low, and then maybe continuing that little filling the cup. And that cup would be filled at 170 at least. Yeah, that seems good to me, man. At least that's my bias of wanting it to win, but let's see here. So where am I at? Damn, okay. Yeah, update this. It's like 820. Yeah, 822 or something. Yeah, we'll just do that. So my trade in render is a little underwater. It was like a 30. Let's say, I think it was, yeah, something more like that. 830. So that's my average buy-in is 8.3. That it was, I think, around like 890 earlier this week. Then we hit the I think I rebought at like 77. Yeah, I think it was 0.7. Yeah, it was like 0.7. So kind of around the entry where I averaged in again, using some leverage to take my total down a bit, my little dollar cost average. So that kind of opens me up now for the 87 short. I still use this as a TP. I just kind of hitting each one of these to, yep, that's still where we're at. Yeah, I think I lowered this a bit. Let's see here. There's a short at this zone here. And there's a long, there's a couple with Jupiter, Sol, and even this guy. It's a little different. Jupiter and Sol, sorry, Jupiter and Render have these like lower numbers all the way down to like 61. Which is worrisome. I don't like to see that. I mean, shoot, that's all the way gone. I'd have to say this is my little more mildly risky account, so I'm already in my trade and it hits me with this and I'm kind of noticing it, recognizing it, but I think I'm still just gonna do what I do and move on from that. I'm not sure exactly what could be pinging that in Thor, like an absolute wipe, but it does bounce back to a little lower than we're at now. So I don't know, it's a interesting, maybe talk to Sile or something about what those guys are, but could happen. I guess we've seen some crazy stuff happen in the past. I think the lower time frame only has the 87, so that's where I would currently shave off some of my leverage, because we go back down with these TPs in the short to like 8.1 down to 7.8 where we're at currently. So if I could kind of play above this, reduce my leverage weight, and then when we go back down again, I can rebuy or refill that, or maybe I could sell a bit more than that, but generally I want to keep myself open to that upside. So right now, in this case especially, I'm using my leverage to lower my average entry point while still have that upside exposure remaining, just for whenever it happens. Usually if I sell all my stuff, it's going to pop up another 20%. So we're just going to be stubborn and hold it and then just reducing my entry, because it's a failing trade. I'm making it better, but it was a failing one in that I'd been in the red, in the hole. Yeah, so I got that, lowered the average entry to 8.3, shave off some there, and then buy back. And again, this is kind of using another tip of using some TPs on a short, whereas I'm just unloading some leverage here at that point and then re-entering at a more advantageous zone. So probably for me it's like the TP2 or the TP3 to maybe start adding back some leverage in again and seeing what we could do, or just using my normal kind of charting ideas for something like this line here, like 720, could be a good buy again too. Just seeing as we go with it. And after a while, I think I started this trade. It was, I think I mentioned before too, but this was up at like 1020. I think we're right around this point. So this trade's been open for a while, and even though I was failing, I've still made profits off of it because I've been trimming above my entry. But that first one took a bit of leverage and a little bit of balls when we went down here that first time, and that really helped my average out. We popped back up again, I think right through here, where I was like 9.3, 9.4, where I shaved off more, and then we dipped down again, where I bought some more, and hopefully we get a little recovery. And so I'm catching up. My variance is a lot shorter than it once was. So it's so far successful. I think I also rearranged some of these points on my actual trading page there. Yeah, lowered this down to like 1153, especially since that gap would be pretty nice. Because after all this time now, let's see where we're at, price range. Got my entry, and if I hit that short, it would be a 40%. You know, that plus a little spice leverage is going to be pretty nice in the 40% or the 50% there. If we do that, that'd be great. But I'm also not taking any chances by also shaving off some capital at each one of those little points there too. In 24, we'll just lower that down to like was that 2.7. It's fine. So yeah, it kind of intersects there. It makes sense. And now we wait. But it was good. It's good to see a lot of things, and especially this. I was kind of sweating when we went back down here. That yesterday, a couple days ago, I was kind of just hanging on tight, but it looks pretty good. My current liquidation for that, by the way, is about 2.5. So I got a lot of room. So I'm not really super high leveraged where I once we hit 4, I'm gone. I got some breathing room, and obviously if something happened, I would just make some moves or rearrange some capital to protect some stuff. But using Thor has been able to recover my trade. It's been a fun one to follow. I wish I have other trades go a little faster than this, but sometimes it's fun to kind of go through it and see the reality that they don't all work. Things happen, but we can make the most of it. Sometimes. Another one that kind of was acting funny. Good old PYTH. Again, we have some lines from the previous week here. A short at 54. Just quickly going through some. The long, still active. Again, kind of cool to see, that's still hanging out. Because that's the one I did take. That's the one we did go in on. I think I managed to do it around like the lower period there, the 57. Didn't do it long. It's a spot call, so we're sitting pretty nice. I think they knocked out all of the other little red lines that we had through here. Though they're pretty smart lines too. So I'll leave one of them up. The 54, that's an interesting, that's just a good indication right here. It's not a short I would take, but how I'd read that is, if I'm trying to enter this trade, like I want some exposure to PYTH. I know that right now wouldn't be the best time to do it. I like how the RSI on the day is really low. That's wonderful. But the short indicates that it could drop down to 51. We had a previous last week, a long at 50. 50 was a good buy-in. So if we could get closer to 50, let's do it. Otherwise, I could enter here, it'd be great, but there's a chance that I could get just a little bit better entry too. And actually, it's 52, not 54 right now. That's the idea though, is, you could be sitting out there ready to buy something, but Thor is also telling you, hey, you might be able to get this for a discount in a couple days, you know, so to speak. So maybe don't go all in right now, maybe buy a little bit, but that's what's been nice with Thor, is been able to see is now the best time to be entering this trade. You know, we get a little anxious, a little excited, and sometimes just want to pop in, but Thor is really good at saying, hey, yo, chill out, wait a second, a good entry's coming. That's kind of where we're at with PYTH right now. We got the long wants to say, hey, let's shoot up to 85, 80, 92, which makes sense because there's some other shorts that were on those TPs, but the 1 day is looking bullish with the 110 line hanging out there too. Just about, yep. And that's a big short too if we did hit that. But again, another good one we like to look at. What invalidates that really big high seems to be that last wick we hit a couple days ago, where it bounced off of 48. 48 is the invalidation line. Looks like 2 times it had bounced directly off of it too. Yep, and we pull it back there. You can see it kind of coupled, and it was a good little zone there. So you break 48. Then I guess the 50 wasn't the best entry. But yeah, no, that's just your little sign there to just acknowledge, and little barometer to see where we're at, where things are going. But for me, when I see that, I'm like, hey, as long as we're bouncing off this and showing strength against that line, then yeah, then the other stuff is hopeful and looking good. But yeah, there's a lot. These past couple week or so has created a few cups to be filled. So I'm excited to see what becomes of that. And I know Rumpty asked earlier what my feelings were on where I think we're going. It seems like there's a lot of calls that are looking around the same, that kind of look like the market could bounce back after that. I know last night there's a bunch of these like really bullish calls, or those shorts, that kind of got me hyped again right after the couple days of, you know, biting the bullet. But yeah, that was exciting to see that go on. Let's see, make sure that's running. I know that stream could be going on and off there. Cool. I think it's getting confused between the the Twitter and the Discord. Dope. Dope. I am curious. Is there any coins you guys want me to go through? It's a big list and a lot of Thor calls on them. Is there anything, trades you guys are in, trades you need to rectify?
I remember you were talking about PYTH at one time. Be interested to see what you
we just went through
think about where it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've been doing a lot of stuff. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, we're just going through there, but that quick recap would be 48 cents is the invalidation line for a couple of the 1 day calls, 1 day short calls at 110. So it looks like 48 cents is the zone we want to hold to validate the upward movement, to stay in this range that we're in. Hopefully what we've done recently is create a new bottom, but there's really not much besides that 4 hour long. Yeah, so I'm kind of sitting there too. You got that 54 cents short, but that just brings us right down to where we're at right now. So it's hopeful. And I was kind of just saying too that it kind of shows me that the market, a lot of calls are kind of replicating that idea. I could just quickly look at Jupe too. Jupe has that same extraordinarily low call, but we got, what is that, one day we have a $1.33 short and a $2 short, and that kind of what is that, $2, 133, 114, yeah, and 130. So it looks like there's a lot of calls for that 130, so I'm just gonna run to Jupe there. It seems like the market is teasing us or telling Thor that we got a couple of ones last week, but we're just 33, 170, 38, 32. So we're gonna take the lower 32. They're all kind of repeating that 32, which would fill the cup. That, to me, just like, not having a bunch of TA, just a bunch of lines, but doing multiple charts and drawing these lines, you could see that there are similar patterns that a lot of charts will probably follow in a certain way. So there's a lot of cups to be filled in the render Sol. We got the Jupe, just that big old dip that happened a little bit. It was like 20% over that one day. It's hopeful for me too, because I'm going to take that one day, that extremely high call, but nice one. Well, that's right now 100% up, is at 85 cents. Oh, and look at that. 85 cents also happened to be a long call from last week. And we did hit that. We hit that wick too. Yeah, Thor hit that, bounced off of it, and here we go. Besides that extremely low call, there's nothing really calling for these coins to be dipped more. So for me, and then again, where does that low one get invalidated is at 120. So we still have a bit of ways to go to invalidate that, but that's that short cup. I think some big cups will be filled probably in the coming days, and then we might bounce down to where we are currently again too. But I would definitely want to be exposed to some upside during these times and not just selling and getting ready for the worst. Because you know what? The path that everyone is looking at is probably not the path you should take. If everyone's saying sell in May, walk away, and that's literally the thesis of everyone, and that's all you're seeing. No, they're just repeating it. Like, no, I don't think that's how it works. Because history rhymes. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. So they could get the idea right, but maybe it's the wrong time. And of course, like I was mentioning too, was there any other the coins that we wanted to check out some Thor calls on?
I think your Discord isn't streaming again.
No. How do we do that?
There it is.
It goes back up. Cool. I wonder if it needs to be like. Interesting. I'll try something here.
If it cuts off, I'll let you know, and then if you're messing around with it, then we can hone in on what it is.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just gonna leave the window semi open so it thinks I'm using it. Oh, I see. It goes. Never mind. Yeah, let me know it's good.
For sure.
Yeah. Good old fun with technology. Yeah, but like I was saying too, I don't know if anyone in the chat has any call or coins that they want to
look at. BONK.
The BONK.
The old BONK.
Yeah, so doing great, Dregz. Thanks for fucking streaming on Twitter too, bro.
Oh yeah, no problem, I did.
Yeah, no deal. You got 200 fucking views right now.
Oh, can't slip up now.
Everyone's don't fuck up, dude.
All right, everyone's max leveraging. Go.
100x leverage, no stop loss.
50x whiff right now. Don't. We just got done. Don't fucking do it.
I don't see it on Thor, so I can't. I can't confirm that.
We're gonna do some. We're gonna. Well, never mind. I just shut the fuck up. Peace.
Imagine that. Could be, would be nice.
Maybe. There's a possibility. It's a thought. It's an idea.
Yeah. All right, bonky bonk. Where are we going? What are we doing? All right, last week, what do we have? I love it. I love leaving these lines up because we could just see where Thor just hit it on the zone. So you got 1, 2, let's go into the days still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, it looks like we hit a previous short that Thor called on that day, or during that day it was happening. That's cool. Wonderful. Let's see what's happening now. We don't have that lower 10. We do have the 14, which will make the 16. So yeah, you got that low call on the 4 hour around 13.33. Again, I like to kind of front run that, push it up a bit. Then you get that, nice little 14. We got 19 and 18 right there. So just as a previous long. So again, that's why I kind of like to leave them up, because when I see another call disappear because it was hit or invalidated, sometimes they pop up again. For me, mentally, that's like it shows that there is some confirmation there, even though it keeps getting invalidated. So it's a strong enough point to keep getting mentioned. So yeah, that 20, again, we could imagine it is a psychological point, the 20s, the 10s, 15s. But anyways, that looks good there. Pumps us back up into the zone where we would hit that previous short call. But I think, as you saw, that short didn't last. Kind of got blown through, which typically happens with something like BONK. It really doesn't care where. What does it say? When it wants to go up, it goes. And it's usually, if you see something that's like a short that's 5% away, another short, I would probably go with the higher one. Even just selling it just makes more sense that way. Previously, we had the 29.
Just scale.
You scale, yeah.
Scale it in.
It is the way. Scaling it in. Or sometimes if I have them holding something, I might be selling a little bit out there too. We got that 27. Yeah, I'll just hang out.
I mean, even I fucked up. Dude, I fucked up on the first, hardcore BONK Gigapump. I took one of the one-day calls, which was the pico bottom of BONK. And I was like, wow, this is great. I'm going to fucking sell my bags on the way up. And then it went 300% after I sold.
Yo.
So it spot.
That was me, yeah.
Spot. Yeah, dude. Spot's king and keep a fucking moon bag. You know what I mean?
Yep. I was doing that because I always talk about, I like to flip it, make my bag get a little bigger. BONK was one of those ones we were doing good at, but damn, that one day it just shot up 300%. I was attempting to flip it on a lower buy, so I missed that gigapump.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
fucking trading.
It does.
I just want to say thank you for your sacrifice, Andy. It wouldn't have went up had you not sold. So
you're welcome.
Praise be.
No problem. No problem, man. No problem.
The homie looking after his frogs in more ways than one,
I got you, dude. Don't worry. Trust me, I don't buy shit coins because I'm always the fucking top signal. So I just fucking don't do it anymore.
It's too easy to be the top signal.
The only shit coins I really have are just ones they send to me. Then I just sell half and move the other half into the moon bag and then see that it's worth nothing later.
Yes. Let's see, just mapping that out real quick. Hitting that short. We hit that, it's a 1 hour, so it's alright. But that's the only short we got. So, what'd I do there? Yeah, so it looks like it's just still a little bit range bound there too. It's probably hitting that point, coming back down to this little coupling right down there. Could go further down too, but that's how it's kind of spread. Looks like is that nothing too fun, crazy for me right now, but I might move. I have some BONK spot that I might sell if we hit at the 27, but honestly, I've kind of pivoted. I don't really have much weight there, so I'm not really super focused on it, but I got that stuff ready for that next 300, right? But yeah, looks like Bonk's kind of range bound at the moment. Needs to break through that 27. But again, we have those lower ones saying this lower limit long is going to be invalidated, the 21 at 30. So it seems like that 30 is going to be where we break the range. If once we get past that, it's just using Thor to say, hey, I could see when we're in range and I could see what it's going to take for us to get out of it. So that's really keen on breaking that 29. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if Sol does what it wants to do and just go up to that 170, then I think, yeah, you might have a chance to break back up. But I think Bonk really relies on the Solana for some nice movement.
You know what's weird? I don't trade fucking narratives usually. It's sort of dumb. But we have that call at like the point XX whatever 19, and we also have the staking contracts and
yeah,
the fuck you call it. Those are running out at the end of this month. I think we see a dump into our target zone, and everyone says Bonk's over, and then it fucking rips.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
I could see that, and what Sile says too, you know, and I always shoot the shit with him about some calls, and especially stock calls. Like Tesla recently has been one. It had some lower calls, like 140 longs, and it didn't seem like too much, and it was going really slow. And then say an earnings call happens, and they got this report, and you know, some news comes out. It tends to speed up timing to get to those 1 day or 4 hour longs, or like, you know, short calls too. So narratives don't really play narratives, but it seems narratives could add a little gas into the direction of the call, which is pretty dope. It's pretty trippy too. Like a black swan event happens, and or, you know, I guess it hasn't happened for SEC, but some big news, SEC sues someone or something, like I think it was whatever, and we hit those longs that we were we already had primed. It just, the news took us there quicker.
I had to learn that the hard way too.
Yeah.
I was going, file it because of this. And he's like, Andrew, shut the fuck up. Thor's been calling this for like 6 months, dude. The news just moved it faster.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking FTX situation. We had $8 Solana called for like 7 months or 6 months. And it just took, you know, a black swan event to get there.
Yeah.
Sent it with haste to zero. But we were ready.
Yeah,
that's why I'm watching that 1 day long. That 1 day long at like 62 right now on Sol.
Oh yeah, dude, I saw that. I don't think we get there, but
I agree. But
Yeah,
that's what we said about $8.
That's what we're saying.
Like,
I know. We said that.
That invalidates once we break that zone at 160,
Yep.
that gap we had. Once we get through that gap and find support,
Yeah,
that's invalidated.
Yep, that's
well, hello, mode.
exactly what we've been talking about there, baby.
Yeah.
yeah. Where's that? Where's that line? That beautiful
Take no
160.
shit, give no fucks, build cool shit.
That was me actually saying that live.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like Sol, I mean, I see that 180, I see that 117, and it could bounce down. We could get that, but I don't know. All these coins have been going through. Still has that cup to fill up here from PYTH, Jupe, Render. These all looking the same to me. And once you pass that 160, I think that just reinforces those shorts up at 202 and 171. I'm gonna listen at 171 and 108, and if I'm building a DLM pool, I think I'd do it between 120 and 160 at the moment. That looks like a solid little range where it'd be meeting resistance and some support there. What else we got?
We have Algo. I don't know if we have Algo out for you guys yet.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been running that one. That's, oh god. See, it's just taking the piss right now with some of these long calls, but you know, I'll listen to it. I know Thor's tripping. But
I mean, they seem crazy until they're not, right?
well, yeah, they seem crazy. Good old 95% drop and kind of.
Shitcoin, bro.
Going up the algo. Oh shit! I'm on Arboretum. Never mind. Yeah, algo. Oh man, algo screwed. I remember I've had some great runs with it, and also got boned by it too. Yeah. I think I was a buyer at $1 once upon a time. I think it was sold around $2, and I bought more at $1.20 and held it to 30 cents. Yay! Then I found Thor, and I think that's
permanent loss.
I think it's some of the first questions I asked Sile was like, "Hey man, does Cyberfrogs could you does this work for like algo? Because I'm screwed." 4 cents, damn. All right, cool. I'll go market, but I think that's another one that it's kind of just. A scam wick to crypto to zero real quick. Scam wick down.
It's dead. It's alive.
Oh! Damn, yeah. Algo's really punched. Only got short time frame shorts at just above where we're at, and like pushing the 19.
Dude, 4 cents would be all-time low for algo.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it would. It would. That's what.
Let's not do that.
No, yeah. That Jupiter Render even had Render had the. Yeah, Render's got the. If I just leave the 1 day on and go, 92 cents. It's currently at $8 or 7.9. Jupiter is call for 15 cents and 7 cents. It's 107. Algo had that short one. Was it?
I'm selling literally everything I have if Jupe goes to 10 cents.
Cyber
What
Twitter
the fuck?
sees the stream and just comes in now like, it's all going down, baby. I had the call.
You're right. I'm selling my liver and my fingers and everything that it can go. All of it.
Both kidneys.
Yeah.
But when you said, the one I was looking at is Arboretum. Now that one's the one where literally I'm watching it at $2. And I've been waiting for these zones, and we're currently at them. That 1 day, damn, I've been playing with this for a sec, but I'll zoom in a bit. Okay, there's a 105. Yep, that was a line. See, they're listening to these lines. 150. Let's take out some of that. That was a big one to 88, 105 to 88 cents. It's a big old buy zone there. But the retracement, what's that? Going back up. What's that? I forget where we're at. It's an 80% move. Well, I guess TP1. What's TP1? 56? Yeah, 60%. TP1, 60% on that 1 day call. That seems pretty nice to me. Kind of reinforced by another little, was that 4 hour call sitting at 91 cents. So if I'm trying to get in on this call currently, you could go in, buy now. It's a good scale in. But I'd probably tap in a little here and then maybe wait for that long call to hit too, hopefully. Or like I like to do is just front run them a little bit. Because I've been teased before. But we draw a line on the chart, cool, Thor had a call there, that's awesome. But again, if I'm using something like Drift, I'm pushing it up a little bit. I'll take it up a few more cents higher than where I maybe was thinking about. Plus, those wicks at the bottom kind of tell me that it's got some resistance there. So to front run that resistance a little bit is just the style that I like to do too sometimes, but I think it's a good little notes because I've missed things by a fraction of cents before, and it's killer when that happens. But then we got another cup to fill. Look at that. We're just filling cups because there's a short for the 1 day at 150. It kind of, when you look at the 1 day, it says 156 is the TP for that long. This guy here has a short at 50. So if I'm going to scale out a little bit at front running that TP1 long and doing the short here at the 150, because then the 150 might meet that resistance, and maybe I could buy it back here at the TP3, 2, or 1 if we get there. But I think that's mimicking a lot of other calls too. This is just this big old gap that we had hit, and it makes sense. Maybe not for those $2 ones and something immediately, or the 220 from Sol even, but that 170. This is pretty much the 170 on Sol for me, and I think that can flip around pretty quickly unless we have some other bad news or other world shaking events or something, you know. Then that's when we might see that 110 105 Sol, not just playing narratives that we talked about, but having those narratives extrapolate or push these lower calls in a bit quicker, or make them a thing too. That's why I see those retracements too, because when we see the Sol, that Sol call, is it at 108 105, goes back up to 140. So wouldn't it be weird for us to go, oh, some weird event, everyone knee-jerks renews, goes to 117, 108, quickly comes back, and we hit TP2. That puts us literally where we're at right now. So it makes sense for it to follow that kind of motion too. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see, do I still have my... Or speaking of it, sometimes I like to show it if it's I still have them and they all wipe out. They all wiped out. Never mind. I'm gonna throw up some stock calls there. But I will say, oh, sick. Yeah, I left it. Nice. So we had a little short call for Tesla that was it 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think we're around here at like 160s when we saw that 190 short call, and then a couple days later it went a little past it. It was short-lived though, and then it quickly in the past few days has dropped back down a bit too. So it works, man. I'm just saying, this Thor is nailing it on stocks and other calls that we got going there too. Didn't load them up this time, but I'll usually try to have a couple that I'm following. That's, again, if you're a whale, you should definitely be checking out the stock chat within the Discord. A few of us that are on it, I know it gets shied away in the crypto world, but it's definitely worth looking into if you have a portfolio or ever wanted to get into it a bit. Those Thor stock calls are really a great way for you to just every now and again see a big market cap company, you want to get in on it, ask Thor where a good place to buy in is. It's invaluable in that regard, and I see that a lot of people have this tool and are not using it fully, so that's something hopefully if you are into it you can check out too. And I will always like to say the caveat, if you do go and start using Thor stock caller, you got to let it go for 10 minutes after you enter something in. Sometimes it needs a little second to refresh, grab the data, fetch it, come back, process, or whatever it may be doing behind the scenes. You don't get it immediately like you do clicking a button here on the crypto. These are all loaded and live, whereas you're asking Thor to go retrieve data when you go get a stock call. So in my experience, wait like 10 minutes after you do a grip of calls and then come back to it, and then you should see some refreshed stock calls. Just a little pro tip there too. Let's see, what else we got going on here? What else do we got? I guess I'll ask the chat though, is there any other coins you want to check out? Any other calls we can see where we're at, how we're doing?
Could we have a little look at GEC, please, Dregz?
Yeah, good old GEC. Oh, KSM. Oh, yes, we will. Also want to shout out, I've been watching this KSM call real quick. KSM was a 25. I'd watch out for that. But there's been some big ranges on this call here too. For the 1 day, I've been seeing there was another one previously that went up pretty high too. But I would keep an eye there. I don't really trade KSM too much, but I'd also keep an eye out for this trade too if you are keen to it. Looks like it's in a pretty prime buy zone. I'm not really involved in it. You said Gecko. Good old Getcoin. Oh, it's not. No calls at the moment. We're empty. Much like the much like the chart. Yeah, sadly, I'm still holding.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad.
I'm still holding my drop. I hope I held it, and they got, what was it? Andy was teasing about some little device that could see whether people hold their airdrops or not. He got me. I held that one. That's all right.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, baby. We're taking that shit to the grave. We're a big community member, though. Actually, honestly, I'm kind of looking into the geckos myself. A lot of stuff is... Usually I'm not an NFT buyer. Cyber frogs are pretty much the only thing I hold. But, you know, these geckos look pretty nice at 11 Sol, I'll tell you. What else? Yeah, so...
Yeah, no, nice.
I've not... Yeah, I wouldn't say... I mean, it's catching not much action going on there. Liquidity's not really having fun with it. They've gone to other stuff, and hopefully, you know, they develop more and they keep building. And, you know, I could say, just looking at this little chart in the Thor, you know, it could... The most likely thing to happen would be that 15 zone again. Maybe. Or even that 11, which is, I mean, it's a meme coin. It could happen if something were to shoot up or some attention would be grabbed there, or some influencer front runs you guys. But, you know, I'm on Twitter now. I can't be talking crap on influencers, so.
Dregz, can I ADD for a second?
What's that?
Can I ADD for a second?
Oh yeah, dude. Run it. I'm running out of some juice here.
You're killing me. So we see a lot of people that release coins and then they don't understand a lot of the extra stuff behind it, like market making. And so people don't have their coin in USDC in a sizable enough manner to help promote natural and mathematically accurate trading, which is what market makers will do to a degree, right? What's really fucking cool is if you could have a community operated market making system or contract that worked within the parameters of, I don't know how to say this without fucking saying it. There's a way for us to apply Thor to community driven market making for coins that need some of that assistance. And we are testing some stuff right now. And I didn't even think about it until you started talking about it, man. Gecko would be an awesome community to roll that feature out to, because they're fucking great guys and just a great community.
Yeah, it's one of those that I definitely would like to see this coin do a bit. Get some help, because I feel like that they had a great start and they had great timing for things. But I think a couple things just fell through the cracks, and growing pains and stuff too. So it can't be too mad or hard on them. But that sounds. Whatever you're talking about, that sounds pretty fun. I could get some ideas of what it could be, but that's some fun DeFi supporting the community. Okay, yeah, I'm down with it. Sounds pretty fun. Can't wait